In today's video, we're actually going to go back in time to see how Minecraft has evolved from being this to being one of the biggest best-selling games of all time. And all I'm asking for is a like on this video. You could also subscribe if you want, and you could always change your mind later. Please don't. Anyways, enjoy. The evolution of Minecraft. Minecraft was actually started by a Swedish programmer, Marcus Persson, but you might know him well as Notch. He imagined and tried to make a game where players could explore, build, and create a world beyond their wildest dreams. In making this game, he was actually inspired by the game Infinite Miner, whose game style was nearly the same as the Minecraft we know today, but Persson wanted to take his game steps further. And in May 2009, the development phase of the game, originally called Caveman, started. At this stage, all later features were not yet added, and there were only 2 blocks, which were grass and cobblestone. The world was very small and entirely flat, and then in less than a week, the first version was created. On May 17, 2009, the game was released to the public on TIG forums, where players actually interacted and gave feedback to Notch about his game. This version was later called the classic version of Minecraft, and it had many updates from the first development stage, including adding trees, lakes, and hills. More blocks were also added, such as dirt, stone, and wood, to test the player's creativity. A survival mode was also added, where players had to gather their items while also fighting mobs like zombies, skeletons, and of course the creepers that want to kill them. And multiplayer mode was also added so players could enjoy the game with their friends. On December 23, 2009, the third phase of Minecraft development started with the in-depth version. In this version, players could finally use tools, weapons, utilize crafting, gather and prepare food, farm, and there was even a day-night cycle. In 2010, the fourth phase of development started, called IFDev, which is just an abbreviation for Infinite Development. It was called Infinite because the world, was no longer finite. In this stage, the world rendered 3D skies, generated more terrain, much more complex cave systems, and more craftable items were also added. Next was the alpha stage. Players could only play in survival mode in the stage, either in single or in multiplayer mode. This version also added chickens, slimes, and cows. It also added the nether, a HE double hockey sticks like dimension filled with fire, lava, and where all mobs were trying to kill you. At the end of 2010, the final development stage started. The logo was changed from this to the iconic logo we all know and love today. Creative mode was also added once again, and other things this version added to the game were beds, more blocks, weather effects such as snow and rain, a new hunger mechanic, and graphical effects such as explosions. There were also some new mobs added, including the cave spiders, silverfish, squids, tameable wolves, and the Enderman. On November 18th, 2011, Minecraft was officially released.
Let's go to a place where everything is made of blocks.
The original release features the adventure updates, with a focus on exploration, combat, and the ability to actually finish the game by slaying a dragon in the end dimension. It also introduced more gameplay features like breeding and brewing. There was also the hardcore mode, where players would lose their world if they died. Minecraft was instantly a huge success, hitting the top charts in just the 4th year of its release, selling 4 million copies. In 2014, Microsoft actually made a deal with Mojang to buy it for $2.5 billion. And don't forget, this all started with one man just trying to create a game. That's so inspirational. A major update soon came along with version 1.1. This was actually released on January 12, 2012. This update added spawn eggs, support for multiple different languages up to 56 to be exact, the super flat world type, and beaches. It was also the first update to begin using snapshots. This update didn't actually add any new blocks though. Next came update 1.2, which was released on the 1st of March 2012. This update adds a new height limit of 256 blocks, which was actually changed from 128 blocks. It also added a new biome called the jungle biome, new blocks and items, which were the bottom of enchanting, redstone lamps, fire charges, and chisel stone bricks. This version also introduced two new mobs, which were the iron golems and the ocelots. With update 1.3, players could now trade with villagers using emeralds. This version, released on August 1st, 2012, also introduced a new game mode, which was the adventure mode. This version also brought to us new structures, which are the jungle and desert pyramids. New blocks were also added, such as books and quills, emeralds, and tripwire. They also added ender chests, improved enchanting, and split the creative inventory into separate sections. For Halloween, Minecraft added the Pretty Scary update. This update was released on Thursday, October 25th, 2012. Among the main changes were a number of new mobs and mob variants, such as witches, bats, zombie villagers, and wither skeletons. The game also added, among many other things, wearable and placeable mob heads, a new boss, the Wither, the Anvil, Beacon, command block, and some new food, such as potatoes. The redstone update was added on Wednesday, March 13, 2013. Among the main changes were a number of new redstone related blocks, such as the comparator, hopper, dropper, blocker redstone, and much more. Like the name suggests, the horse update added horses, a tameable mob which players could ride. This version also added donkeys and mules. It also added horse armor, carpets, name tags, hay bales, and blocks of coal. Minecraft's update 1.7, or as is well known, the update that changed the world, was a major update to the game released on October 25th, 2013. This update added many new biomes, new structures, stained glass, new commands, pistons which could push entities, and much more. In 2014, the Bountiful update was added, which improved various aspects of the game. Among others, the update made a way for players to create adventure maps. It also added new mobs such as the rabbit, the endermites, guardians, and the elder guardians. The update also added many new blocks, including andesite and diorite. 2 years later, in 2016, the combat update was released. This update completely overhauled the combat system. Among other additions and changes, the combat system introduced a cooldown delay, so it would be more important to time attacks. Players also get the ability to hold items on their offhand through dual wielding, and this version also introduced the shulkers and elytras, both of which are found in the end. And the elytras would be used to glide around just like real-life gliders. Pretty cool, right? And this version also added a way to respawn the Ender Dragon in survival with gas tears and end crystals and all of that. Just decided to throw that one in there. Also released in 2016 was the Frostburn update, which added polar bears, the husk, and the strays. This update also added new blocks, including the bone blocks and magma. The exploration update allowed players to use the explorer maps to find Rare structures include the newly added woodland mansions. Speaking of the mansions, the game also added new hostile mobs to live in the mansions, which were the Illagers. The Illagers included the Evokers and the Vindicators, and the Llamas were also introduced too, so there's that. To introduce more color to the world of Minecraft, the World of Color update was released in 2017. Some blocks such as concrete and glazed terracotta, which come in different dye colors, were added. Many other colored beds were also introduced to the game. Reddit users were challenged to create the most colorful Minecraft builds they could think of, and this is what they came up with. The game also added parrots, which can also come in different colors. The Illusioner was also introduced but could only be spawned by commands. One overlooked area of Minecraft was the oceans. The oceans were once bland and very dry, but the update Aquatic revamped the underwater world. This update introduced new ocean and underwater biomes and structures, such as the coral reefs, icebergs, shipwrecks, and ocean ruins. It also introduced new aquatic items like treasure chests and tridents. To fill the ocean with life, many new mobs were added, including the dolphins, tropical fish, turtles, phantoms, and the drowned. The Village and Pillage update soon came around, and this update was themed around revamping the villages. The game added cats, foxes, pandas, ravagers, pillagers, and wandering traders. New regions were also added, including the bamboo forests, snowy villages, and pillager outposts. In 2019, the Buzzy Bees update came around, introducing bees and bee-related items, such as honeycombs and beehives. The bees brought life to their surroundings, bringing speedier crop growth and sticky honey. Minecraft brought about the Buzzy Bees update to join the World Wildlife Fund in order to raise awareness about the dwindling number of bees.
But bees are in danger of a steep decline. In honor of these honey-making heroes, Mojang and WWF have teamed up to help the bees, but we still need your help. Proud supporters of WWF, learn how you can help at minecraft.net.
The Nether update in 2020 made the HE double hockey stage dimension way more interesting and challenging to be in. It introduced 4 new biomes named the Soul Sand Valleys, the Warped Forests, the Basalt Deltas, and the Crimson Forests. He also introduced many new blocks, including the Soul Sand, Crimson and Warped Planks, Twisting Vines, Basalt, Crying Obsidian, Ancient Debris, and Respawn Anchor, just to name a few. The new Netherite ore, blocks, tools, and armor, which were superior to the diamonds and also fire resistance, were also added. New mobs added also include piglins, triders, zoglins, hoglins, and a piglin variant, the piglin brutes. There were also some new nether structures added, which include the bastion remnants, the basalt pillars, the ruined portals, nether fossils, and many more. Truly, the nether update was a very packed update. In 2021, the Caves and Cliffs updates were launched. The update was so jam-packed that it was divided into 2 parts. Part 1 of the Caves and Cliffs update 1.17 was released on May 27, 2021. Part 1 revamped the caves and mountains, but not too much, bringing somewhat huge and breathtaking caves and increasing the mountain's height limit to 320 blocks. It also added amethyst geodes, copper ores and blocks, and many more. 3 new mobs were also added, which were the axolotl, goats, and glow squids. The glow squids were actually voted by the community in the previous Minecraft Live. The part 2 of the update, released on November 25th, 2021, introduced brand new cave biomes such as the dripstone and lush cave biomes. It also introduced ore veins which generate tons and tons of either iron or copper ore, and many new mountain biomes which were the mountain meadow, groves, snowy slopes, jagged peaks, frozen peaks, and stony peaks. Many more blocks were also added, which included the azalea blocks, deep leaf, deep slate, calcite, cave vines, dripstone, powder snow, and much more. The ores were also changed from the original look and given a whole new texture. Or was that in 1.17? I don't know. New dripstone ores were also added to the game, which generate deep enough where stone no longer generates, but only dripstone does. The void was also pushed down to Y-64 from Y0. And last but not least, we have the upcoming wild update. This update is set to be released in 2022 as update 1.19. This update is themed around scary things and the nature vibe. And it also adds many flora and fauna and the new deep dark biome, as well as adding onto the atmosphere and immersion of the game. This update was actually first announced in Minecraft Live 2021, and in the live stream the community voted for the LA as a new mob to be added to the game. Speaking of mobs that are known to be coming out are the frogs, which come in different variants, and their baby versions, the tadpoles, the firefly, the allay I mentioned before, and the warden, which was said to be released in the Caves and Cliffs update but was further pushed to the next Minecraft 1.19 update. The update also promises some new biomes to be added, which are the deep dark and a revamped swamp called the mangrove swamp biome. Some blocks which are to be added include the mangrove wood and its variants, mud blocks and its variants, and skull candy's variants, and also some colorful frog lights. It's actually unbelievable how just one man created a game way back in 2009 and it's still a best-selling game in 2022. And it's also so very popular still. There is still so much to explore, learn, fight, and create in the vast open world of this game called Minecraft that I believe that people, including me, would still love and play this wonderful game in many more years to come. Okay, please check out some other of my videos right here, right now, and subscribe if you haven't. That's all for today, and I'll see you in the next one.